Begin.
Welcome to the gpodcast. My name is Jack Attack.
I'm Will.
I'm John.
Today on the G Podcast, we've got multiple topics, a couple of which will be surprises. So we'll start off with a review of X-Men First Class. Yes.
And I have to say that this movie was definitely better than any of the X-Men movies made so far.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a prequel slash reboot, depending on what you want to call it. I consider more of a reboot.
Yeah. And if there's any problem with it, there's only two problems, I'd say. Is first of all, January Jones as, who was the one female bad guy sidekick? What was her name again that she played?
I don't remember. I know who you're talking about. I just don't remember.
Yeah. All right, let's edit this out later. Anyways, she did do a good acting job, and then there was a few minor parts with continuity, I don't think they were really that significant either, and such as that in the third movie when Magneto and Professor X met Jean Grey. They were older, and in this, though, it shows them as so much younger and just barely have started, finding X-Men and, their whole relationship together. But, just these minor continuity things, they don't really matter that much because what they were able to accomplish was such a great story.
Right. I do think we'll see a First Class sequel, just jumping on this. Although I've also heard rumors about an X4 going off from where The Last Stand left off.
Well, I'll tell you, though, what is going to happen is that for right now, they're focusing on Deadpool, on the Deadpool movie, and the Wolverine, which is based off of a mini-series, which I've heard actually has a great story to it, and Hugh Jackman and the producer, I forgot her name, sorry, we'll put it in annotations.
All right.
Are excited about it and says it's going to be great, and they'll acknowledge that Wolverine Origins wasn't a good movie and it was disappointing, but this will do well, and especially based off of something else that was good, I think more likely you could bet that X-Men First Class would be the next thing they'll have a sequel. They don't want to oversaturate the market, so they're going to wait on anything else besides those two movies.
Right, well, one thing is Fox has to make an X-Men movie every, I don't know how many years, to keep the rights to it, so...
Yeah, true. But I think definitely First Class would be because, it's such a better movie and just, people would rather see it, and it's
wait, but isn't...
Say what?
Go ahead, John.
Never mind.
Something about Deadpool.
Okay. Doesn't Disney own...
Oh, about Disney owning Marvel. Yeah, but a couple companies still own the rights here and there, because I think, Universal still owns Spider-Man, or whoever made Spider-Man, and, Fox still owns X-Men movie rights. The Avengers, all those characters are now Disney.
Yeah. And anyways, though, and especially the thing is, they mentioned it, how, with Batman Begins, they really developed the character of Batman and everything else, and then they could really get the ball rolling with a second movie, like a classic where it's boring in the beginning, but that sets up for a classic story. This, they got everything set up with it, developed good characters and all that, added so much depth to these characters, and so in the next movie they did be able to really get it going, and for as far as X-Men 4 goes, they said if it does happen, it's gonna be a while into the future, because they don't want to oversaturate the market, and there's also, I guess, also there would be the idea of having a First Class sequel. So if it does happen, it's going to be a ways into the future.
Right. This is the last thing I'll say about a sequel to either. I know the story of First Class didn't happen in the comics, but from what fans are saying, like half of the comic book story arcs would work better with the original X-Men movies, and half would work better with the First Class continuity.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what ones they want to use.
Yeah.
Right, but
and on that note of basing it off of comics and the story arcs and that,
yeah.
I'll tell you, like with all the amount of X-Men that they did use in like Wolverine and the other three, I really think they did a good job of having to like have to really dig and really find what other characters that they could use and how to make a good story with what they did have. So like I think that's that's something that really did good with like using Cyclops' brother and just figuring out how to use them. It was really good. It was like that. It was like Batman Begins, where it's like literature was such a great story, great themes, great developed characters, all of that, like better than any superhero movie. I'll tell you.
Yeah. One thing I also liked about First Class, it said the entire Cuban Missile Crisis was Kevin Bacon's fault. So, yeah.
Kevin Bacon wanted to do that?
No, Kevin Bacon was the guy who was the main bad guy in the movie.
Yeah.
The whole climax of the movie is the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
And he set it up, so the joke on the internet is the Cuban Missile Crisis was Kevin Bacon's fault. But, okay, story for another time.
Yeah. Oh, and also on that note, they mentioned how the next movie, and this could make sense too, since like if they're going to do it in however many years, have a sequel to First Class, and the actors will age a bit. They're going to have it take place in the 70s, a different time period.
Right. Yeah, that would make sense. What else? One other thing I'm just going to touch on while we're talking about First Class. Do you think they should have been in the Avengers, any of the X-Men?
Not many of them were. Wolverine, maybe like...
Wolverine appeared occasionally.
None of them were... none of them are really like constant members. Maybe like in a sequel, like Wolverine would be good.
Right.
Like any fans, like anyone who's watching this that's a big fan of Marvel, can tell us and give us some ideas of like the story arc and who did what.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't think it matters that much, but it could have been good. But maybe also at the same time, they don't want to have too many like superheroes in the Avengers, at least for the first movie,
right?
And making it a good movie that's popular.
Right. We'll talk more about the Avengers as it gets closer. But anyway, so in your mind, what was the best scene of a movie?
That's tough. Like, no, I'll tell you, compared to like the first three X-Men movies, like a lot of the movie was like more boring, like, but what was happening though set up for a really exciting like last portion of the movie.
Yeah.
With this though, like there was a lot of good stuff happening all the time.
Right.
If there's any favorite scene of mine, I guess it would probably be like the scenes where it's focusing on Magneto and Professor X because of the relationship they formed with those two characters, how they developed the two characters, and and they just did such a good job with the acting. And then also some scenes in there too, which were like with Mystique, because the actress that played her was a good actress, and she the kind of relationship she had where it's either just her and Professor X or her and just Magneto. Those that was really interesting to see, and that fits so well with the audience, like how like being who you are, not conforming, and like knowing your own your sense of self-worth. And while I may not agree completely with everything that they did have in there, that was a perfect for the audience. So it was very good.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said about favorite scenes. I can't really pick anything else out. I mean, my biggest issue of Last Stand is that it feels a bit like a variety show, because there's always little scenes that have no significance happening even later on. This at least felt like it was building to something.
Yeah, and then just a bunch of more X-Men because of how everything that's happening.
Right. Now, I would also like to briefly touch on, for a PG-13 movie, there were a couple scenes that were questionable. I mean, not bad, it's just, those were a little on the verge in my mind.
Yeah, true. But it's on the verge, so it's PG-13.
Right, exactly. But I mean, from what I've heard, it was a lot cleaner than Wolverine with all the blood and guts spilling out.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
True.
So, any words you want to put in, John?
I thought the movie was good overall.
Alright. Now to rate it. Just, what would you give it, Jack? Out of 5?
5 out of 5. Great movie.
Yeah, I'm with you there. 5 out of 5, best superhero movie of the summer, regardless of what some websites say.
Yeah, if they made a trilogy of that, I'd say that and the Batman movies, though, like the newest Batman movies, are the best superhero movies ever made.
Yeah, definitely.
I would give it just a 4.5. I thought it was very, very good. I just couldn't, I don't know, there's something not wanting me to give it a 5.
Now, quickly, we're just going to do like a superhero summer movie wrap-up. Now, I saw Thor, X-Men, and Captain America. So did John. Did you see Green Lantern?
No, I didn't.
So let's make this a Marvel summer movie here.
Okay, so did you see all of those three as well?
I saw Captain America. That's it. I unfortunately haven't seen Thor yet.
Yeah, see it for the sake of seeing it before the Avengers. I didn't enjoy it as much as I was hoping. The actor who played him I thought was good, but the movie itself was a little flat.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that. I saw the previews and I didn't think it was going to be good, but I don't know. Everyone has said that it's and I haven't heard anyone really almost nobody say really bad things about it either. It was just surprising.
I'm giving it 3 out of 5, but to see my Captain America review, go watch our first episode.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, but X-Men was definitely my favorite this summer.
Yeah.
And from the downers, I heard about Green Lantern. I just don't know. Right. So, just to touch on this more on the superhero, next summer we've got Avengers, Ultimate Spider-Man, and Dark Knight.
Dark Knight
Rises.
I would probably the Dark Knight Rises. I bet that'd probably be the best because everything I just said about what makes that great. I bet that's gonna be the best superhero movie. Maybe Avengers though, if I don't know, it depends on if it's cheesy or not, or if they do a great job of having all these superheroes that people like, put them all into one movie and all work together against some evil. And then the Ultimate Spider-Man.
We'll see. In my mind. Because I'm just not sure if it's a good time to reboot. The one I'm most excited for is the Avengers, because I enjoy watching crossovers regardless of how bad they are. But,
yeah.
Right. This podcast will be continued in part 2, so sit tight.